Hi, how are you doing? My name is Les Stark, and I'm the author of the book Hempstone Heritage, a book about the history of the hemp industry in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Hemp has a long, proud tradition in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. We grew hemp for over 150 years. Between the years 1720 and 1870, there were over 100 water-powered mills for processing hemp fiber just in Lancaster County alone, and there were dozens more in all the surrounding counties. Today is May 2nd, 2011, and it's the start of the second annual Hemp History Week. It's put on by Vote Hemp. The goal of the event is to spread knowledge and awareness of the historical hemp industry in America. I'm at the Landis Valley Museum because it's a really good, fascinating place to learn about the history of hemp. We are so fortunate in Lancaster County because although none of the original hemp mills remain standing, some of that equipment that came from the mills still stand. We're in here in the textile barn in the Landis Valley Museum, and as you can see, they have a really nice display. There's 4 hemp millstones in this display, and there's one other hemp millstone out on the grounds. Now, you may say, what is a hempstone? A hempstone is a millstone that was used in the old mills that basically softened up the fiber and got it ready for the spinning wheel. Hemp was the #1 fiber for making homespun clothing, although it made all sorts of varieties of fabric. This right here is a beautiful example of a hemp millstone. Now, as you can see, it rolled on its side and it rolled on a circle over an oak floorboard. There was an iron axle that was inserted through the cavity of this stone, and that propelled the stone over the fire. Up here, we have a diagram of one of the old Lancaster County hemp mills. This is from an article that appeared in the Lancaster Sunday News in 1928, and this is illustrating the mill owned by Peter Elser. It was built in the 1760s in Clay Township, and it ran all the way up until the 1860s, so it ran for over 100 years. Back in the 1920s, the Landis brothers, who are the founders of the Landis Valley Museum, they were exploring old mills, and they went to an old mill in Clay Township, and they found nearly buried in the soil a conical-shaped millstone, and they looked at it and said, what is that? The answer wasn't known for some time later when they were visiting another mill close to Ephrata, owned by Fonstock, and they found another millstone of the same type. They were able to locate an old-timer in Farmersville, an old man named Stauffer, who was able to fill them in on what the stone is, and he had notes and told them all about what they were. Now, here is, we have a hemp break. This is where they would take the dried, retted stalks of the hemp plant, and they would lift this handle, and they would smash the stalks and break the stalks and get the raw fiber. But the fiber in that condition wasn't ready for the spinning wheel. It had to go through another series of steps. So that's where the millstones came into effect, and they rolled over top of the fiber. They broke apart some of the more firmly adhering bark that was sticking to the fiber and softened it up, got it ready for the spinning wheel. After the fiber came from the mill, it was combed through a series of hackles, which looks something like this over here, where it says flax rippling comb, but there's different pieces of equipment for that. And what they did was they combed the fibers and made them long and straight and smooth, and then they were taken to the spinning wheel. So over here we have the spinning wheel, and it was spun into yarn or thread, and then it was taken to the weavers, which over here we have a really nice weaving machine that was woven into cloth, and then it would be returned to the family, where the wife would make it into all sorts of clothing and fabric. Over here we have 2 more beautiful specimens of hemp millstones, and if you ever get a chance, come in here to the Landis Valley Museum and see the stones for yourself. They're really, really good specimens. There's also one at the Hans Herr House There's also a hemp millstone at the Mercer Museum in Doylestown. And I have 2 hemp millstones in my own personal collection that belong to my friend Brian Burkholder, but he has them on loan for me. But we hope that everybody learns as much as they can about the hemp industry, because we are on the verge of bringing back this industry to America. And I'd just like to encourage everybody to come out to the Landis Valley Museum here in Manheim Township in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and keep in mind all the other hemp history events that are going on all across America. And thank you very much for watching this video.